What I'd like to do would be good to you. And if you hang up on me now, I'll be through. Just living and a loving, waiting for the moment. If you got time to kill. If I can't get your love, then what's a telephone bill? Oh, baby, won't you hang on? Shine 'em up good, going through my neighborhood. Thing must be pretty clear. You don't need to be fucking with me anyway. Thank you. Thank you very much. That was fun. Thank you. Thank you very much. Will the power of blue argonite propel you? Will the power of blue argonite propel you? Will the power of blue argonite propel you? We give you that Virgin love, baby. We try to put the right fractals in your mind so you can cut through ignorance and use the right tools to do it. We always put out that diamond energy, baby. We give you that diamond energy so you can amplify whatever you're trying to manifest. We also give you the full power of the Virgin so you can fully use it and fully have the fractals because I give freely. And the mantra that comes with it, for those of you that are bold enough to try to go in. And for those of you that think I am about trickery, I am not. I am going to give you the sounds and the Virgin and the sound and vibration. Okay, enough of that. I can't be phasing in and out. I don't hope the camera did not catch that. Government will be knocking on my door. Oh my goodness, that shit just phased. Woo! I don't know if y'all caught that or not. Hopefully the camera didn't. But I don't know. I think everybody needs a little harmonica in their life. Okay, enough harmonica. Guten night, I guess is the way to call it. This is the Chocolate Mountain Show, and I am your host, Big Pontiac. I am the holder of the infinite sacred ball game created by the Hero Twins. And I am also that one and only Galactic Daddy-O, welcoming each and all of the Chocolate Mountaineers to my galactic patio that reaches from Minnesota to the outer galaxies. I think you're saying the universe is really limiting. And tonight I'm not going to share what kind of beer I'm drinking because I have beer and you don't. And I have beer in a koozie. And I just got to thinking about it. It's like, why are you worried about what I'm drinking anyway? So you see the top of that can, it probably gives it away. So pop them if you got them. And just took a big rip off of my water bong. So smoke them if you want them. I am next phased, so enjoying this evening. Enjoying the time of the recession. Brother Bomber said, some people call it a depression. Some ways it is a depression too. It's all that. It's all that in some ways. I mean, ask a homeless person. Ask a homeless person if you think we're in depression. What do you think he's going to say? Do you think from his perspective, he's going to say we in a recession? Peak inflation. That's what they was talking about last week. What are they giving us this week? As I said now, look at the gas price. The gas futures is telling you they've been doing this shit since Obama. Gas prices always get less during voting periods, during elections. So don't be swayed by gas prices. I paid $4.29. I think Lorenzo said down in Mississippi he paying $3.80 something. So let me say what's happening to Just Jody. Just Jody, what's happening? I am smooth. You know that. I am well, though. Thank you. Thank you. Pickleball Supremacy. Oh, yeah, that's Bootsy. You know, from Here's Bootsy, I think was the name of the album. Yeah. We're stepping out and hanging loose. I'm a rubber band. Oh, Bootsy. I'd rather be with you. Who? Yeah. Yes, I'd rather be with you. I'd rather be with you until I'm through. Oh, yes, I do. I'd rather be with you until that day we'll find a way. You can't be a pimp if you don't know the words, the pimp words. Okay. Let's see who knows. Been arguing with my friend. She thinks she wins. I got a mistake. My cousin Donald Goins wrote another book. But that Iceberg Slim, she was like, yeah, come on, that is a character. That is a character. That ain't no real stuff. It was that dude up in San Francisco that used that handle that was the real deal. But the guy that wrote the book, I don't know. Hey, PJ, what's happening, man? Glad you joined me. Oh, Reese, what's going on? Do you have any information or advice on the Lionsgate portal that opened this month until next month? I am thinking of doing a small video on it. I'll go back to what everything says. What does that really mean to me? You know, what does that mean to me? What does that really mean to me? I'll look into it, but from the little bit I know and studied before, I mean, what does that mean to me? You know, Do a video if you think it might mean something to somebody, you know. So that's what you know. And if you think that's worth looking at, go for it. Go for it. I like to play, but look at this shit, PJ. Look at this shit they gave. Look at that. Big Lee Chew stitched on the side. They give you the goddamn pin, and they put it again stitched here on the current model that they wear. This hat was worth once $50. Now here, whatever the price is, that's what you pay. But I didn't even pay that. I get a discount. I think I paid $24. Hat that was once $50. So get some as I like some. But I thought, shit, the pin and the stitching on the side. Look at that shit. That shit is not easy. That shit ain't easy. So it's for positive energy and downloads. Okay. You know, we had, like, I know you can't really see up here. I have the Mayan calendar, and you know, that's the greatest thing. If you want to put that energy around, it gives you the 1320. And under the 1320, let me see, 25, 26. Normally the day out of times is the 26. And so according to, because there's several calendars, but one of the calendars was the day out of time the other day. And so Jody, I would equate that somewhat to the day out of times. You could get that same energy out of that. But if that you can get that up, okay. If that's something to tap into that you think that is positive, then you know. In my opinion, you know, what does my opinion mean to you, you know? No. So the Jigaboo's at the door. I don't think that's him. Oh, that is some darkies coming. Get a little nervous when I see a lot of darkies these days. But uh-oh. Uh-oh. No, I don't think that's him. I was joking. I joke with my son. I love my son to death. I should have brought my new pickleball paddle up here. I got one without a rim. Yeah. Them little shots. One thing I like about the smaller. Oh! Jigaboo.
Boy, just hit 4 bands.
4 bands?
Is what Joe hit.
Okay, why did you say you then?
I know. I didn't say me. I said just hit. I just wanted to amp you up for a second.
Well, why didn't he loan me $25? I want to go buy a turkey.
I bet you want. I got some money.
You got $25 to go buy a turkey?
Yeah, I got you.
Who's waving back there? I'm in lights. I can't see. Who is that?
There's only one person that big.
That's Big Mike.
Yeah. I got.
That ain't 200. So if you got less than 200,
I'll pay you at 4.
yeah, that's not 200.
I think it's like $9.
I don't know why you give me $9. Big Mike, what's happening?
That's good, man.
I've been okay. Natalie always asks about you.
Girl,
Really?
Yeah, she want to kick the shit out you. You
She's
did
like,
something to her.
She was like, "Where'd that big ass, ugly ass ogre go?
Yeah,
Where'd Shrek go?
she said she wanted to kick you.
Don't he look like Shrek and Blake Griffin?"
Shrek and Blake Griffin. I guess you could be like the smooth Shrek and shit, you
That
know?
is like a light skinned Seth Rogen. Oh, shit.
Ain't no guest
Yo,
here.
that nigga look like the supervillain from Black Lightning, that albino nigga.
Okay, your jokes is losing some steam.
Oh, no, they're not. Them was all elite jokes.
Elite jokes. It's good to see you.
Right,
He hit for $4,000?
Yes, sir.
yeah.
No, okay.
I told his ass too. I was like, it's for the hit right
Damn, he ain't loaned me $25. All I get is $9. God damn, and you two niggas. I would have rather him come in. Why didn't he come in? Instead of y'all broke. $9. Hey, Carrie. When the sun aligns with the suburb. Oh, okay. Hmm. And what day? What day is this? When the sun aligns with the syrups. Syrups. Okay. Hmm. Okay. Wow. It's like what I've noticed from and I said what's happening, Carrie, didn't I? Vodka. Hi, Carrie. Thank you for joining me. Vodka, what's happening? I said before, like if you can catch, okay, so that would be similar. What I've learned just from studying space, just general space, like some nights you can see the multiple stars. City lights kills that, but sometimes if you have a lack of light, you can see if you can really just concentrate, you can see that behind all this, you can see other stars. Again, one of the phenomena they can't explain about our reality, if the stars are what they say, it should never be dark. And there's no way they can explain that away. It should always be light. If the mathematical, what they put out there, the 93 million miles and all the other stars, some of them are either brighter than ours, it should be light all the time. We should never see darkness. So that shows you part of but one to get to Jody's point, one part of the energy you can do is like a lot of times what you see is you'll see the moon and then you'll see Jupiter and Saturn, and you'll catch a kind of triangle in it. And a good, now she was saying they call it the Lion's Gate, but what I've noticed in the past, if you can catch that, you can triangulate stars. It's easier to triangulate with planets than stars. Visually, we see them, so it's a little easier for most people to kind of connect to that energy. But if you can find that triangle in the sky, that seems to be a type of energy mover as well to receive or even push out. So, but that's positive. Look, you done took 10 other bags. You ain't paid me. It's $5 a bag.
There you go.
$5 a bag. That's more.
$5. That's $5.
That's more than you done took about 20 bags. What do you need a bag for? What the fuck? Y'all done cut up some bitch or something?
I don't have a basket.
Well, y'all done cut up a girl and trying to put her in the bag. It's gonna take more than that kind of bag.
You would have had to seen her. How do we have got her in here?
He was hiding her under his shirt. We never saw a girl that was 5 foot. Not through him. Anyway, that's a way that you can kind of push your consciousness a little further away. So there's other techniques, but if that's a way you can do it, and the timing and everything, that can be used. I'm not gonna say it's out of hand. I do want to say this, Brother Quantum. I know you watching me because you saying shit that only you heard from me. So you want to study about Yabatha, you got to really get all this stuff though. So I'm going to read this a little bit. It's not very preachy, but I'm going to read this a little bit because a lot of people don't to just kind of understand the full Gnostics text, which in some ways is a lot of this has been just never heard before. So I'm gonna put it out there. This is a song from the Mandean Song of the Poor Man. Now, maybe I should back up a little bit. Just want to give you a little history. The origin of Mandeanism, like other branches of Gnosticism, has been debated. Mandean literature and oral traditions preserve a number of intriguing references to the root of the community. They combine mythical, biblical, and historical events. Like all Gnostics, the Mandeans trace their ultimate ancestry to the world of light, which is technically Yabatha or Marduk. The Mandarin anthroponymy echoes both rabbinic and Gnostic accounts. Fatil, the Demerge, creates the earthly Adam, who remains intimate inanimate, not moving, the soul of the heavenly prototype. So just going to give a little bit of this out. What is water is prior to darkness. Water is prior to darkness. Prior to darkness is water. Nothing is without an end. No number is before the ultras were. Light beings are prior to darkness. Prior to darkness are urethras and older than their inhabitants. Goodness is prior to the malice of the place of darkness. Gentleness is prior to the bitterness of the place of darkness. Living fire. Now, living fire. That's Simon. Oh my goodness, that is his living fire. That is his line. Simon Mattis, the only person that can fly. They come to me. Living fires prior to the consuming fires of the place of darkness. That is his works. That's his. That's copied from him. Simon Magnus. Yeah, that's definitely Simon Magnus. Praise is prior to the practice of sorcery and witchcraft. Hymns and books are prior to sorcery of Hua, the terrible woman. This other is a little cooler. Song of the Poor Man. A poor man, I'm a poor man from the fruit. They took me from far away. I am far. I'm a poor man who life spoke to. I am far. The light beings took me away. They carried me here from the good to where the wicked live. They installed me in the world of the wicked, where all malice and fire. I didn't ask for it. I didn't want to come to this awful place. But by my strength and light, I suffered through this misery. By illumination and praise, I remain a stranger in their world. I stand among the wicked like a child without a father. Like fatherless child and the untended fruit. I hear the voice of the 7 planets. They whisper, they say among themselves, where does this alien come from? He doesn't speak like us. I didn't listen to their speech raging against me. The kindly light being. Life heard my cry and sent an angel, a kindly light being who's prepared for me. He told me in a pure voice, as light beings speak in the house of perfection, he said, poor man, don't be alarmed or fearful. Don't say I'm utterly alone. For you, we spread the firmament above. For you, we spread the firmament above and made dry land. We made dry land, and solid land came and stood in the water. For you, the sun came, and for you, the moon came into the firmament. For you, poor one, the 7 planets, 12 creatures of the zodiac, were set in orbit. Radiance sits at your right hand, and glittering of light your left. Be strong in your seed until you are fulfilled, and when you are fulfilled, I will come again. I will bring you splendid clothing, the envy of the world. I will bring you a lovely show of light and abundance. Quit trying to take my stuff. That's what you quit. Yeah, you touching my stuff. That's what you got. I'm about to throw this book at you.
It's a cup.
You better put my stuff
Can I
back.
use it real quick?
Put my stuff back.
Remember that.
Don't touch none of my stuff.
You
You
know
didn't
what?
want to put the computer together the other day.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, that what?
I never, bro, remember that when you asked
No,
me?
you can use it for now, but I know you're for nows.
I don't need that long. I just need
These people would have saw you get hurt. And then I'd have beat up Big Mike too. 8-win got to be the freshest OG on the tube. Around about how many fits you have, you think? Aggie Pride. Just fitted. Wow. Probably 100. And then probably got 20 snapbacks. I probably got 4 Godfather hats, 1 derby, couple fedoras. So I looked at some Kangos, dude. I wanted another Kango, another like not a bucket hat Kango, but the other kind of Kango like I got, the longer terry cloth Kango. They had the bucket hat. And damn, if I'm paying $44 because it say Kango on the front, nah. So yeah, about that many at least. I buy probably 1 a week. Damn, that'd be 300 and something. Probably, maybe every other week I buy hats. So. But it's old hats that's stuck away too. So just like hats, I'm the Mad Hatter. So I hope you guys got a little bit out of those writings. It's a little bit couple other things I wanted to bring up too. One allegory, and I'll find it, but is talking about the pearl and the bridal chamber. I mean, it's really beautiful writings. but to really understand how some of these writers, because some of these writers was had to fight Christianity, and so how they came up with despite of what was done at the Nicene Council, they still had to come up with ways to put out things that was more practical, kind of practical ways of still working within, I guess, within kind of spiritual things, but without the boundaries of religion in some ways. I mean, Gnostics say pretty much was saying that nothing really, it wasn't a man. Yep. So, but it's this version of the Gnostic Bible. So, but I'm no one special. I'm just the man. I got to get my collection up. Oh yeah, I got a bunch of hats. I got to find some boxes and shit to put all these mugs in. Football jerseys. I got old jerseys. I got like 15, 16-year-old jerseys. I've been collecting football jerseys since I was a little boy. I always wore jerseys. Nothing that ever went away. Hell, we used to wear, when we'd wash our practice jerseys, we wear them around campus. Most football teams during high school, they make you wear your jerseys during school. At least they used to make us. And they'd get mad when I wouldn't wear my jersey. Team wasn't shit. What the fuck am I wearing my jersey for? And that's what I told the principal. I'm like, this team ain't shit. Why would I wear my jersey? I mean, okay, I want people to come to the game, but this team ain't shit. I ain't highlighting. I'm good. I'm going to college, but these motherfuckers I play with ain't shit. And try playing football by yourself. It ain't easy. Especially you play receiver and you got a dude who can't really throw, consistently throw. And it's funny how time after time, you see sports stars with potential attacked in the just craziest ways. And a lot of times it just doesn't affect one person. As I said, my friend got shot in the face with a shotgun when he might have been 17. I don't even think I was 17. I think I was still 16. He was going to be my quarterback my senior year. And this cat ended up being like 6'5". He graduated, he was 6'5". He got shot, he was 5'10", 5'11". So during that span of basketball season, this cat would have been 6'5". He started like 5'10". If he would have just been naturally left alone, by the time we finished in March, this dude would have been 6'4", 6'5". So, hey, how you doing? Thank you. I don't know. Some people hats ain't, it's not, they don't really raise in value. It's the uniqueness. That's the thing. It's just the uniqueness of it. And just the way that we are as cultural people and culture lovers, we take something and we make it our own. Like this is something they copied, and I know y'all remember. Do you remember the first women that really was taking jerseys and cutting the jerseys up and making little dresses out of them? Do y'all remember that? The women that was doing that at first was taking these jerseys and cutting them up and making dresses out of them, extending them, making them fit their curves better. And what did you see next in the stores? Jersey dresses. Y'all remember that? But where did it come from? It came from girls that was creative. They seen these jerseys laying around. Somebody didn't care about them. They sold them to fit them. It's like the boy that made the saying 24/7, 365. Just think if he had enough sense to copyright that back in 1981. How many people would have to pay him? You notice how you don't hear happy birthday anymore? Pat Riley, that's president of the Heat, owns that. When I was a child, you always heard happy birthday. Bozo. For those of you from new to Chicago area, know who Bozo is. Bozo sung happy birthday every show. And Bozo came on every day but the weekends. Every day he sang happy birthday to somebody. Now, if you sing happy birthday, you got to pay Pat Riley because nobody was smart enough till Pat Riley. I see Judge walk off, picture through it right down the middle. Major League getting sloppy with that script. Well, Judge is one of the main ones, like we said in the Korea baseball. If you can't hit the curve, don't throw it to him. Judge is one of those main people. Can't hit it, don't throw him to him. So, yeah, I saw that right down the middle. Wasn't nothing, but Yankees going to be there. This is their year. It would be surprising if Yankees don't win. Very surprising. They don't win at all. But Dodgers still loaded. Kershaw ain't going to do nothing in the playoffs. Might be better in the playoffs this year. He ain't killing them in the regular season. He's a regular season great. He's like Peyton Manning. Kershaw's like Peyton Manning. Best regular season player ever. But that's what Judge is. But looks like their year. Now they showing that Derek Jeter shit too. Like that shit when they lost 3-1 and the Red Sox came back, that shit was so scripted and that was really sloppy. The first World Series the Red Sox won in what, 2,000 years? Red Sox hadn't won a World Series since the Red Sox was in Kemet playing with the Mummies. You know, they was called the Mummies. Then they wasn't called the Red Sox. They was just Mummies. That's how long ago that they had won. And then all of a sudden, 3-1, and that good team just collapsed. It's not believable. Which part? David, your story is just not believable. Which part? Y'all remember that in JFK? But go back to David Ferry and put his ass in jail. So David, your story is not believable. Like John Wayne Gacy when he got caught. He said, "Who else did you get?" He was trying to get some information out there. But we all should live our passions. Doesn't cost a lot of money to be fresh, smell good. Don't cost a lot. No matter where you get your things from. To dress and be clean is not that expensive. It ain't like, back in the old days where everybody got to wear a suit. If you ain't got the suit and your suit ain't nice and your people never taught you to get a tailor-made suit or never looked out for you. And the first time you got to put that shit together, it tells you how to put it together. It ain't like that no more. Now you can put something pretty casual. It's acceptable no matter where you go. So, and I'll tell you one thing about here. Again, we are, I think, the 16th biggest city. The Twin Cities are the 6th biggest city in the union. We have some great places to eat. I mean, we went to this place with my mother. Their food was horrible. My mother's food was bad. I mean, it was just badly done. But what I ate was good. And the beer was good. But it is a million places to eat around here. So those of you come here and you want to eat, it is here. It is here. Anything you want. I ate some Leanne Chin because I was at the mall. Let me talk about this. And I should have brought my pickleball paddle in here. We've got maybe y'all got these, but we got a place called Shields. It's called Shields. This is a 2-story store. The store has a Ferris wheel in it. They've got everything Dick Sports has. They match lids and jerseys. This is the sports person's. They got robots that move, and from the what is that? When they beat the Russians in the semifinals in the Olympics, they got robots moving in the store and shit. But they have pickleball heaven. And so I bought a new pickleball racket. So I'll show that off. But going into the store, they had a statue of U.S. hockey, so I don't know who that was. They had a statue of a skateboarder, which was actually kind of sweet. Then they had a statue of Lincoln. Then they had a statue of Jefferson. And then they had a statue of George Washington, which would have been considered, y'all know George Washington was considered a blackamoor. You look that up. And then they had a statue of Ronald Reagan, the Union Buster himself. Like, this is owned by a patriot, isn't it? You got a statue of Ronnie out there. I don't give a fuck. All you conservatives, fuck Ronald Reagan. The only thing good he did is he made suppliers come over here. The Japanese now build parts. Well, Mercedes too. Them M classes they build down in Alabama, that's Ronnie Reagan. But also Detroit being a major city, they went from being a major city within what, 30 years, collapsed, poorest major city in the country, some of the highest crime, flooded with heroin at points, flooded with cocaine at points. Ronnie Reagan. So it made me look at that place like, even though you're a great place in here, I don't know how much love I can give you, baby. Ronald Reagan statue, and then going out, there's a statue of Paul Bunyan, which is he makes him only about 10 feet. So, no, you guys ain't got that. Brian Braxton, fun to watch. Yeah, Braxton's kicking ass. Braxton is kicking ass. Yeah, this story is like sus. Yeah, they got to be conservative people, you know. But look that George Washington shit up. See if you don't find. Same with Lincoln. And in Lincoln's ancestry, you see the word Moore too for his mama. His mama's related to Moore. And then of course everybody knows the person that put integration in the military was Eisenhower. Well, look up Eisenhower's mother. Again, his mother's listed as a Moore. So, Truman, I think the same as with Truman. Truman's mother's kind of these lines. And as Dr. Welding says, they created for Clark Gable why they liked him. And even though Clark Gable was only about 5'6", 5'7", tall, dark, and handsome, was created because of him. And we know he's a melanated person. They tell you that they hated you, but yet you watch the movies, they got our prototypes up there. Damn, Darky, you keep walking in here. What time is it?
It's only 12:45.
Okay, it's time for Darkies to be seen and not heard.
You talk to me.
I ain't got your goddamn phone. Did you walk in this house with a phone?
Of course I walked in the house.
Okay, then how are you going to lose it in the house?
That's why I'm looking for it in the house, nigga.
Doesn't make sense.
Am I outside?
You're just not a very smart person. How you lose your phone in the first place? Have Mike call you.
Yo, don't act like you don't ever lose your phone and ask me to call it.
Yeah, you're making some shit up. Was Lincoln mixed? Like Lincoln grew up in, you know, one of them last wars. Some of the last wars of the Midwest, you know, when Tecumseh finally was defeated. Lincoln grew up on the cusp of that. But look up his people. You'll see some names that come up more, in some instances called more. So look up some articles you find out about when Lincoln was running. Same way, you know, they talk about Sally Jennings, but when you talking about some cold motherfuckers. Look up that shit when Jefferson was running for president. Motherfuckers knew about Sally Jennings. It wasn't like it was a secret that he was all of a sudden with his dead wife's sister. You understand who she was? This was his dead wife's sister. They would tell you stories. You don't think she was standing in line waiting to step up? Come on. Get out of here with that shit. That's that evil slavery bullshit. You don't think she was happy to be in the position? She lived in the house, had her own room, had children by this motherfucker. You really think she had a hard life? When he went to France, she goes to France. So you really think she had a hard life? Well, you know, she didn't have a say. She was only 15. She sees her sisters die. You don't think she was... See the stories they tell? You should understand the stories they tell. It was so hard. No, Jim Crow was hard. Slavery wasn't what they tell you. That ain't what they owe us money for. They owe us money for Jim Crow. Because that was allowed, and it was allowed legally. And they think they don't owe, but yet you want to pay, you lock all these motherfucking Japanese people up. You paid them. You paid Holocaust money. Now, last time I checked, not one U.S. person had anything less other than the Nazis they allowed to come over here. We ain't had shit to do with that, but yet y'all put a package in there that gave them money directly. But yet you want to tell us you don't owe us for Jim Crow. And Jason Black is as corny as he is. He's right though. For everyone else, you can't wait to cut the money. You can't wait to hand out money for them doing wrongs. Again, them peoples you give U.S. taxpayer money to every year. And ain't one American harm them people. But yet, to pay for the crimes of Jim Crow, which you allowed, which you armed poor white trash after the Civil War and created the atmosphere because y'all didn't want to go back to war with your underclass, your buffer class. So that's what they created down there. They created a buffer class of people that they thought was throwaway people because they killed most of the people they wanted to kill. They killed all them Protestants in Tennessee and Kentucky. You understand? It wasn't just slavery. They wanted them lands and they wanted to kill Protestants. Now, I don't feel great about the Protestants. I don't feel great about them Pilgrim motherfuckers that killed my ancestors on the coast. But what I'm saying is look at it strategically. That's why you got to read that book, Poor White Trash, 400 Years of Class Distinction. She tells you. Again, you want to wonder how they won some of these battles? People come from the fucking World War, 300,000 brothers come from World War I and fight for these motherfuckers. And they are scared to death of them and kill them any chance they get once they come back to America. Look up the stories of men in their uniforms just trying to go back to the farm and getting killed because they feared these people because they were used to killing Europeans. And that is why you had the bloody summer of 19. They didn't care, just like we had the riot with Floyd. Had those riots. Oh, you see, they done put the slammer on the other people, you know. Why didn't you help poor George down there? Why didn't you go up to a senior officer and say, I think that knee is, you fucking him up. Quit fucking him up like that. But they were showing that bullshit. Is that true? He got blood on his hands for extermination of his people. If who? Not a blood on his hands for extermination of his people. It's like Stalin. I try to tell you, 1919, 1920, Stalin tried to eliminate the Christian population. He starved them. The U.S. had to come in. He starved 20 million people, something like that. And the U.S. had to go in there. Herbert Hoover was Secretary of State. And then the rest of the world saw what he was doing. He was trying to exterminate all the Christians because in Bolsheviks is Jewish faith. Russia is a Jewish faith state. Don't think it's not. It is. It's China. And communism is created by the Jewish faith people. So any country you see under the guise of communism is Jewish faith country. At least that's who it's really governed by. They did that. They like that. Easier to be slaves. Easier to create slaves. Now I don't know if I don't know if China locks motherfuckers up and make them work and shit. I don't know. And what does that mean to me if they do? It don't mean shit to me. I ain't locked up. I ain't living over there. So that don't mean shit to me when you bring that shit up. But these same folks here, many kind of cases where political prisoners still locked up. Why? Funny how slaps in the face Biden is giving towards the community and they still support him. My mother's a prime example of despite the incompetence that all of them show, she's still supported. She still puts, she's still on the magic guys. She's still under that magic of anything to get Trump out of there. But we see Biden, and Trump told you about Biden. Trump told you the position. We're going to see if Pelosi, if she goes to Taiwan, that is going to be interesting. That's against Biden. That's more of a Trump move if she goes to Taiwan. Because she goes to Taiwan, that is put that army group there. So China can build up all they want. If Pelosi goes to Taiwan, and maybe today I don't know, but if she goes, you better believe that you better see that the Army group is going with her. Couple aircraft carriers with all the battle groups. Aircraft carrier don't go by itself. You understand that? It just like is out there. It's a ship that just got all its parts. Any part that aircraft carrier or some of them jets need, there's a ship that's following. And then there's cruisers, battleships. So they take a group over there. There's a group going over there. And they're like, we here. This is how much these Europeans think fucking blink. So we'll see. I heard a dude mistaken say that Pelosi was in the number 2 position. Actually, she's number 3. Biden dies. Sister girl is going to step in. Sister girl would have to die or be impeached for her to get in. That's exactly what my grandparents say. When Biden is more racist than Trump, people need to open their eyes. I mean, they're both the same. That's understandably, but Trump's, like, if you really watched them last 2 years, you kind of saw that despite him being Biden cut the funding to black college. Trump set it up where black colleges were going to be pretty self-sufficient. Biden cut the funding. Those that know about HBCUs, Biden cut the funding to that shit. So Trump had gave them where they was going to be okay. Biden dramatically cut the funding. Taiwan don't want that smoke. Well, if she goes over there, they're going to get it because it's going to be a group. I would say minimum 2 aircraft carriers. Minimum. And all the support groups is going to be up over there. And the advanced crew of Marines, Special Forces, who are going to protect her on the ground, they're probably over there already. Again, I didn't see if she's not going, but if she goes, they're over there already. Marines are over there already. So it's going to be interesting. As I said, it wouldn't surprise me they pull off Man in the High Tower, give China half the country. Wouldn't surprise me. Wouldn't surprise me. I guess I'll go into this a little bit. So if you understand Yadaboth Marduk, I came across a fiction that might have a lot to do with what we're facing now. The fiction basically talked about how the beast is released. On the other hand, though, if we live in the beast world, it's something else that's locked up. It's something else that's suppressed. And from reading this book and looking at the signs of the times, whatever that is, it looks like it's about to be released. And they appear to dread this. That's why it appears like all this doom and gloom, the shots, everything appears like it is because this thing is about to turn on them. So we'll see. But that's what it appears. The nervousness, I don't know. It seems like they're trying to escalate the time they have left. Now, what can come? The problem with when civilizations fall, and we saw that in the, oh gosh, what is the movie? The movie about the fire and the girl, whatever it's about, Hunger Games. What did they show you in Hunger Games? They said, send all your women and children up front. See, that was a slap at what they did to indigenous. Because a lot of times they would kill, the European way of killing was total war. And so they would kill the women and children too. And so that's what we see in the movie. They say send all the old and the weak, send them up front. And the own government, remember, in the movie, the own government bombs the women and children. And my point is this thing shows you again through the movie The Planet of the Apes that it would rather destroy the world than lose control. Mexicans, tacos. Oh, that's funny. Hey, Shaw. I got the Mets Big League Chew 8 win. Okay, bet. Yeah, that's what this is, the Big League Chew edition. And so it makes me wonder if that's what's coming. It makes me wonder that. And that's what I suspect. So we'll see. So can there be a world where Yadabath is challenged, Marduk, where they're challenged? As I said, the Mai has exposed itself. Again, watch the Umbrella Academy. They contain this energy, and the Mai breaks in. This cube breaks into a million pieces and contains the energy. Well, it shows you it's the Mai, because technically the Mai is these little nano. The first when and again, it's Stitchin's work, but I think Stitchin's got it right. He's the only one that appears to get it right. And again, he glosses over this, but this appears to be the real challenge of all of that work is whoever found this machine. However this machine got here does appear to be the technology they draw from. Now, I know Brother Bomber says that technology has been here for a long time. I say certain ones, but I'd say that the Mai was different. It appears like it was different. It changed technology differently. And quantum of science hits this. When the Mai came, the Mai understood development. In the Mai, just as we saw in the Guardians, he invented he shows the first card, how easy to make for them to do their fields. And he's like, okay, I'll just give them the plot. The Mai understood this. The Mai understood that I can't just give everything out. And kudos to American Gods for pointing out that the first tech god was the telephone. I would have never thought about that, even the radio, but the telephone more than the radio. Because the telephone, just think of all the things that the telephone has replaced. In some ways, movie cameras and microphones. This is a perfect example. And I still believe, but I study enough. I'll put it like this. I study enough. Let me put it like this. Okay. So last night, how do I put this? So last night was working with a generator. Now, this technically isn't a generator because it doesn't have 8 sides, but it's not like the George Washington. It's not that kind of obelisk. It's not an obelisk. Generator has 8 sides. So the last couple of nights, I've been working with the cards and working with the generator. And what's interesting is when I was working with other things, it was funny how it's no other way to say this, but to get you to explain is going into the ethers, whatever you want to call it, is at times it's like you are able to move the way you want to move, and it's really not dense. But I just noticed when I got to working with my generator, it hit on so many different vibrations, and I don't even know if I can say realities in some way, but you can see the denseness. It really exposed the denseness on if you try to take it on from that perspective. If you take it from the perspective of like, man, I got like 8 different realities I can really deal with. And it's like you get into there and it's like you're nose to nose in China, trying to ride a bus. So understand that part of it too. Yeah. So it if that makes sense. because it's quite a challenge. Now, not to say work can't be done, but it's interesting. It's used a lot. It's used a lot. Yeah. But also, you can find your own little corner, your own little niche where you're not being really bothered, and you can move in quite a bit. So, thought I'd say that. They caught him saying nigga. You notice they ain't showed him with any sisters that he paid sisters. Look, he's rich. He likes to trick with bitches. And he likes to smoke crack on occasions. I don't see any problem with it. He ain't hurt nobody. And whatever that brother does, what does it mean to me? So what does Biden's life mean to me? It don't mean shit to me. You know, Biden's son. I don't give a fuck about him, so why give a fuck about him? It don't mean shit to me, you know. So if you want to watch his show, they put it out there for you to watch. I don't give a fuck about him. I like that he got his paper up and taking advantage of it. That's what they do. We can't be surprised. Trump put his people on for 4 years, giving them hundreds of thousands. Well, I guess Fauci was the highest paid Fed. This man the man that popped up for AIDS and then disappeared until, from AIDS ended in the 90s, and then he appears in 2000 and something. He pops up again, and come to find out this was the highest paid Fed. He's the highest paid Fed. An actor. So man, pickleball and the new paddle. Oh my goodness. I like the smaller paddles. I'm in shape. Like a couple weeks ago, 6-7 games, I'm huffing and puffing, but not now. Not now. Still got to figure out paddle control. Not control, but just holding it right. I don't know. Because I like going on both hands. I can play pickleball with both hands, but I'm getting some shots where I'm just not solid holding it. So got to work on that. What planet do you live on? See, he's not human. You don't know what pickleball is. In this day and age, you are not. See, you're sus. Hey, Alchemist. Thank you for joining me. What is pickleball? What is pickleball? Get out of here. This is the most newest, exciting sport there is. You have to look that one up. I should have brought my paddle out here, and I could have showed you how I'm getting expertise. It was funny. The couple I talked about, they must live. They live near the reservation. It's a couple nice little areas by the reservation, because I see they ride their bikes there. But her husband was like, "Ooh," his wife. She saw my paddle. She's like, "Oh, nice paddle." He had one like mine, so it was kind of cool. I wanted one with no edge on it. You know, I found it. So I think I'm going to be able to do some damage with it. The game is getting there. I'm in great condition. Knees better. Don't even wear a brace on my right knee. So tennis elbow, definitely. So, but look it up. Look pickleball up. But yeah, we wonder, what country are you from? What does Dan Calloway say? Who sent you? Who sent you? You don't know what pickleball is? Who sent you? OTF? Who sent you? My 27-year-old son just laughs at me. We played it in gym class. As I said before, we were playing. It was just 2 courts taken. That's it. And matter of fact, it was just me and another girl. It was like 1 court. They was playing 3s. Me and a young woman. I said, "Hey, you just want to dink?" And we started working out. I was letting her serve, and we working out. Because that's what I prefer to do. And by the time when the energy peaked, it was like every court. Within a matter of, I spent 2 hours there. So I played for 2 straight hours. I set out 1 game in 2 hours. So I was there consistent playing. And then I got there around 5 something. Didn't come back till 7. So, yeah. So got a good workout. Good. Feeling amazing. Oh, me too. Me too. Me too. I'm going to bring my big bong out here. I might show one. I don't know. That's some fiendish shit. To smoke wax is some fiendish looking shit. No lie. Y'all be like, God damn, that mother put some crack or crystal meth up in there. It's a lot of the same process, except the pipes look better. Edibles, I like to not smoke it. I do. I like edibles. But I heard a motherfucker say he like forgot they was edibles and just had the munchies, and he said he ate a whole thing of them. He ate about 400 milligrams. He said he fell flat on his face and passed out. I don't think I would do that, but I would probably be intensely thinking about something after all that amount of edibles. It's like my son called me one night. He'd get high. What you have to understand is, like right here, like right here, when you release adrenaline, it releases like from right here, and you really feel it move up your face. Like, I mean, this is where it comes from. It goes like right like this. And like when them witches tried to poison me, whatever they gave me, it just kept dumping adrenaline. Just like kept. That ain't THC. I can't even say, well, if that was coke, I don't know what the fuck them bitches gave me. But that's what it was, just a constant adrenaline drop. And I have to say, the Awaken one, keeping my attention, them bitches had put some shit on me. But I took the shit, so it ain't on really them. But you see, I'm still here and sharp as ever. I'm a little high, but I can explain everything. So. But my son would call me 3 and 4 in the morning. He done smoked some of that good sesame, good cess. Like, Dad, what do I do? Go to the hospital, get him to give you volume, give you eye. Tell him you're high, but you can explain everything. What do you need to be seen for? Well, I'm high, but I can explain everything. You're high. What have you taken? Not really sure. It was some shit, and put it in the pipe, and we smoked it. And next thing I know, I'm here. Like, do y'all believe the Richard Pryor story? Richard Pryor supposedly dosed himself with 151 Bacardi, set himself on fire, ran down the hallway, ran down the stairs, ran out the house, some kind of way scaled a 8-foot fence, and then was running down the street. Now, if I was on fire, I probably also could scale an 8-foot fence. I don't know. I think it would, like, first of all, I wouldn't light myself on fire. I would, like, drink the Bacardi, and then think about it after I drink it. Like, you know how you could, like, drink the Bacardi and then you light a match and put it in the bottle and the bottle would explode? Maybe that would be funner than lighting myself on fire, but teach his own. But I don't believe he scaled the fence while on fire. So that makes the whole story, makes me wonder. I looked it up. Why don't everybody can't play tennis? There's too much moving in tennis. Pickleball is not just about moving. Like with me, I'm getting a bad habit of winding up. Like if a person gives the second shot, comes to me, I can wind up and I'm hitting as hard as they can near the net. Now, some people are good enough to return it. Some people, it goes crazy. So it's a game where any body shape can play. Any body shape can play. It's nothing but arms, anticipation. So that's the hype. First instinct, stop, drop, and roll. Yeah, exactly. Exactly, Valerie. You're going to stop. You ain't going to try to scale no. I mean, what if, like, he fell? Like, what if he tried to scale his driveway fence and fell? Being on fire, wouldn't that put you out a little bit? You go and you fall. What is the odds that, and like, what kind of shape was we believe in Richard Pryor's in? Richard Pryor was a heavy cigarette smoker, heavy drinker. So what is the odds that this person that was a heavy cigarette smoker, a heavy drinker, and on fire could scale an 8-foot fence? I just don't think he could. That part of the story doesn't seem real. Now, if his man saw him on fire, his bodyguard saw him on fire and wanted to make things easier and pushed the button to open the fence, That makes more sense. Like, shit, nigga on fire. I would have chased him for a little while. When I saw him go to the fence, I would have hit the button, like, let the nigga go through. Then called 911. But back then it was 911's a joke. Get up, get down. 911's a joke in your town. Can you see two European cops just driving and be like, see this nigga just run by on fire? It was like, you know, that's something we don't see every day. Just one of those darkies on fire. What happened to him? Well, he's not slowing down, so maybe just let him go. Let's catch up to him and ask him what's going on. So you pull up like, what's going on? I'm on fire, and if I stop, I'm gonna die. What would be your response to that? Somebody gives you that. They're on fire, and if they stop, they'll die. I'd have been like my man from Catch Me If You Can. I'd have been like, I concur. I'll see you later. Take off. Just playing. But pickleball. 89-year-old dude, maybe he was 84, 85. But he had one of the hardest serves. His serves was nice. He was fucking people up. Couldn't do much after that. If you returned to serve, he was kind of in trouble, or his partner was able to. But one of the keys to working out is you want to do something to raise your heart rate. A pickleball game generally lasts about 15, 20 minutes. In those 15, 20 minutes, you will raise your heart rate, even playing doubles. Now, if you play singles, you would definitely raise your heart rate because you're going lateral. The game is more lateral, trying to stay in the middle. But if you're playing double, oh yeah, all this, raising your heart rate when doing this on your feet, yeah. It is a great workout that is not terribly hard on your joints, that anybody can do. I took my friend to play with me a week or so ago, first time. Me and her just worked out. By the time we played a game, from us just working out, she was ready. She's like, oh shit. She had got it that quickly. So that's how everybody is. So I'm on the pickleball craze. Oh, Matthew, like the Twins gear, Uncle. What do you think about the Toronto 27 runs? Well, what did Lorenzo say? If they wanted to do the top lower 10, they would show the Red Sox defense. So that's what Lorenzo was saying the other night. Lorenzo was saying how bad the Red Sox defense is. That's a prime example for them to get hammered like that. And then who was that said the Red Sox are going to make the wild card in baseball? It doesn't look likely. So I don't say it's legit, but the Red Sox seem to be like Baltimore. And actually, Baltimore's a little better than what they were. That was obviously scripted. Yeah, that was obviously scripted. I was looking, you look at all these things and you can see the numbers. And so I say with Brother Zach, I just wonder, like how do you, it's exhausting, it's exhausting. Every story you got to make content about. It's exhausting. Why do you care? It goes back to, what does it mean to me? You hear some shit, somebody died. What does that mean to me? I mean, it's exhausting that everything that comes out there, you got to say that it's got something to do with the boogeyman. Everybody that dies got something to do with something that's coming, and it's just exhausting. That is exhausting. That's how he makes bread. Okay. Motherfuckers is literally watching fly balls. But yeah, that's how he makes his bread. I get it. Content. But it's exhausting to think about that shit all the time, like everything. So, now I don't know. Maybe losing his channels like he says. I can't say. I don't watch a motherfucker like that. That's on him. But I don't want to think about it. And again, it all goes back to what the fuck does that shit mean to me? Don't mean shit to me that this motherfucker died. Yeah, it's pointless. That's it. Like you said, the point is there is no point. As Mudbone. The point is there is no point. That's me. Like motherfuckers say, what's my topic? There is no topic. You know, I just chop. There's no topic. I get into the spirit. I feel the spirit. The spirit is like telling me. But you know what? I'll say this. If I had a church and I was wearing, you can get watches that's $500,000, and I'm in the church wearing a $500,000 watch. Number one, that's 6'6" dude that's like in the bedroom over here. He would be somewhere near with guns, and probably Big Mike too. Big Mike, my bodyguard is going to be my son, Big Mike, and Roni. Roni's MMA. But yeah, they would be there and they would whoop a motherfucker's ass or shoot people trying to rob me. So I don't know. Have you ever heard that Foxy Brown is a transformer? Foxy Brown, Ingrid, isn't that her real name? Ingrid, or are you talking about Pam Grier? Foxy Brown, never heard that before. Ingrid, I think, is her real name, and she's deaf or legally deaf. I've never heard that before, unless you're talking about Pam Grier. If you call him Pam Grier Foxy Brown, or are you talking about Ingrid Foxy Brown? Those numbers are real. I'm not saying they're not real. I'm saying like it's like this. Once you prove your point is proven. Do I need to repeat that? Once you prove your point is proven. You ain't got to keep point proven, point again, point again, point again, point again, point again, point again. That's just too much. That's too much. Is that the new Alex Jones? No, I think he's cooler than Alex Jones. But I think he's cooler. But he is funny like Alex Jones. Yeah, he is. I'll give you that. I just makes me wonder. I mean, you get burned out talking about the same, everything. You got to react to everything. Everything don't mean shit to me. And everything shouldn't mean shit to you. You wake up in the morning and see some bullshit. What does it mean to me? And what does Sly say? You get to go to work tomorrow. So what does it mean to me? That's really how you got to say. Motherfucker be like I said about gas. You don't, I didn't, nobody gave a fuck what the fuck they charge. We gonna put that shit in there. My friend was like, yeah, I spent this, and today I spent 20 less. Yeah, you still was gonna spend whatever the fuck to get around. So whatever the fuck they charge, we gonna pay. So why bitch about it? You ain't stopping me from going somewhere. So then you have friends that hit $4,000. Give your son $9. One of my man didn't even come in and say, damn, he could throw some money in the air. Wow. Gave my son $9 and felt good about giving him $9. No, he's lost big money at the casino, though. That's my man. But it just gets burned out, trying to see. The thing is don't say the word. That's the thing. I ain't here to say the word. I'm not here to save one person. Now, there's people I can influence. And I've influenced them for a number of years. Some take the energy I give them, some don't. I was reflecting today, my ex-wife, 30 years. They was talking about some Jodeci shit. I remember the Jodeci first album, my first night in our new apartment. We was laying on the floor playing Jodeci, and I dubbed it at my friend's house. I went over to my friend's house. I don't even know why we went over there he had Jodeci. So I went over his house and dubbed it. And then we went back to our apartment. The first time, I remember our very first time that we was together in our apartment together. And like up to that point, everything I had, I knew I could get it with her. It wasn't my ex. It was like me just everything I had, I knew I was in position to repeat what I had just done. It took me 3-4 years to repeat. That was the way I went into it. But 30 fucking years ago. Because I was hearing Jodeci's first album. Come and talk to me. I really want. What is? I want you to stay for a little. I remember me and Peanut riding back from Detroit. Both of us just singing that shit. That shit was so cold. I want you to stay for a little while. Oh, the chorus of that song was so dope. Cause I want you so bad, make me like I never had. The sun is going down. Stay for a little. Oh, that shit. 30 years ago, though. Jodeci. Oh, fuck. Kundalini. That Lizard and Me come out, boy. That shit ain't hiding. You lowballed it. Kwame Brown. I don't think about Kwame Brown. He ain't talking about fixed sports, so I don't think about him. He ain't said nothing. He flamed out on himself. He had the mic. He ain't even drop it. He ain't really want to hold it. He didn't bring nothing new. Same old bullshit. Non-factor. Until one of these motherfuckers say, fuck my pension and admit about sports being fixed, they pawns. They work for them peoples. So fuck him. It's just funny the beats though. It's showing Charleston White that base some shit. Why do I care about that? What does it mean to me? Motherfucker, you know, Charleston White done base some niggas. What does that mean to me? Why do I care about that shit? I got shit where these rappers did some stupid shit. What does it matter? They want you to believe that somebody done gave somebody else a $40,000, $50,000 chain. Why? Why? Super Sly call it the illusion of wealth. Why do they always show these people in these illusion of wealth situations? Why has it always got to be about that? You ain't got to be wealthy to wear jewelry, to have nice, exquisite, one-of-a-kind shit. You ain't got to be wealthy for that. They make you watch that shit, make you think. Remember, they got niggas buying platinum, and it made silver go up because everybody couldn't buy platinum, was buying silver because it was the same look. Platinum was a little shinier. But remember that? You don't think they did that on purpose to try to raise the platinum rate? The next thing they know, they the diamond encrusted stuff with some cheap stuff. They pushing Jake the jeweler. Jake the jeweler selling people fake shit. You ain't got to be wealthy to buy jewelry and have nice shit. You can have $50,000 on worth of jewelry and ain't nobody know. Nobody really know. That's the gangster way to do the shit, you know? Motherfucker don't know. That's the cool thing about Richard Mille watches. You can have an understated watch on, motherfuckers don't know. Really, if you have a non-solid gold or like yellow gold Rolex, most people won't even notice you got a Rolex on. You can have a platinum or you can have white gold Rolex. Most people won't even notice you got it on. It's just that yellow that attracts that attention. People ain't looking at you really that hard in most instances. Except Super Sly. Super Sly, he admitted that he looks at motherfuckers' watches. So if y'all around him, he gonna look and gauge at your watch. He's going ching-ching. Remember okay, so Super Sly, see your watch. And I don't know if y'all remember this, but a way that they used to, when you would go to the grocery store, you had these little things to click it. There was like a little box that you click what you just bought, you know, kind of like a calculator, but it was the cheaper shit. Super Sly got that in your pocket. He see your watch and he starts clicking that little plastic thing. He's like, that's a nice watch. He got the little clicker in his pocket. You know, I just talk shit. I'm having fun, man. Dirk blessed his hood with, it was hard. Dirk blessed his hood with a mill. It was hard. Jacob the jeweler did some behind the. Oh man, it is so easy to cheat people with jewelry. As I said, I was lucky. In some ways, I was in Kalamazoo when the crack hit and them niggas was ready for it. I was ready. I had all my shit laid out, just sat there and really made good money. But another thing is when them zirconiums came out, when them zirconiums came out, pawn shops was not ready for that stuff. And on a whim, I had a little money, and my guy was like, it was called, what was it? Forever Diamonds. I want to say we got in, and this, I don't want to say Brennan wasn't even born, so this had to be 92. But we was getting them zirconiums, and them zirconiums, Forever Diamonds were a little better because they show flaws. Most zirconiums don't show flaws. Those Forever Diamonds would show flaws. And we was killing people. Going to the big dealers and shit, going to these dudes like, hey, I got these diamonds, what you want to do? Oh, you ain't got no rings with diamonds in them? Yeah, I do. What? Your woman want a diamond? Here you go. Which one? What? Hustling people, and people's giving us money for that shit. I mean, we used to fucking, I don't care. This shit's statute of limitation. We used to print money. When the fucking laser printers came out and they made them big face hundreds, man, laser printers was making them perfectly. We get rice paper. Look up rice paper. Rice paper made them all that shit they did to them when the big faces first came out, like 95, 96. Laser printers with rice paper was making that shit look perfect. Now, again, a lot of times you'd have the same serial number, but what most people ain't picking up on that. We buying big eights and shit with that shit. Remember, it was a movie called White Sands. White Sands showed you what to do with new money. He put that money in the washer and put some fucking washers and shit and nails and pennies and shit and put that money in the dryer and let that shit beat that money up. And then you'd get that money out. Big face hundreds was the easiest to copy that they ever made. So if y'all remember that, just hitting licks, and then it would be like what's cool is when you hustle, and then you see 6 months later the stores is doing some shit that you ain't doing that shit no more, and you know that motherfuckers trying to copy your shit. It's like, okay, I got this hustle out the way. What's next? Hey, the Most High, you got the Rod Carew, Tom Bernowski, join on. I tell you what's hot is that baby blue. Rod Carew wore that baby blue, but I'm not dropping 85 for a top. Not like a jersey. It's more of a, I don't know, but it's 85. But that's what they're pushing. They're pushing that baby blue shit. Because that's part of the Twins colors is baby blue. That's the Rod Carew. But yeah, I like the darker. They can go several ways. Last year they had the gold, like the hats had the gold here. This is basically it this year. They're pretty much going with this again. So, and there's certain hats you can see the game worn hats and stuff. So, I am a regular valuable lids customer. I'm going fucking with all the lids. So. Lids is the only ones that sell Kangos. Kangos is expensive. How long? Okay, hour 23. Yeah. But to allude to Richard Pryor again, it's hard enough just being a human being. It really is. Hard enough being a human being, trying to find love, trying to find consistency from people, consistency in a career, consistency in friends, family. I mean, we have so much mental illness going on. We have a government that has taken veterans and literally in some ways spit them out. I mean, go to these homeless camps and see all the veterans you see in the homeless camps. And tell them it's the veterans' fault. I don't care about love, friends, family, just money. But, I mean, it's how you go about getting the money. That's all. You can have all that and still have friends and family. You know, money is just currency. You know, how are you bringing in the currency? You know, are you bringing it in quickly and it's going away? Are you holding it? Are you able to keep it in? You know, as I said every day, you deserve abundance and you are abundant. So this system never think that it ain't currency because the current is always moving. It's almost, as I said about driving, you just got to tap into it. Now the current may not be this $1 billion they throwing out. It's Friday, but it's enough of it. So this is the thing to understand. It is $1 billion of currency going out. So that means in other avenues, there's current to tap into because they putting all this out because everybody's trying to get a piece of that. So there's other currencies that's available. Pay attention to that. I mean, if you just a simpleton, again, if you can save a little bit on gas during this $1 billion thing, you understand because there's going to be a lot of spending that's going to raise that $1 billion mark. And what's so unfair about the lottery is the state's going to get 200 or 300 million. Don't you know if you win that, you are the highest taxpayer probably in the year? You just gave this state 200 or 300 million. Oh, and on top of that, you're going to have to give the feds 200 or 300 million on top of that. So even though your thing may say 1.5 billion, in reality, you'd be lucky to get 300,000 or 400,000. In reality, be lucky to get that much. I say lottery is you don't pay the state shit, you don't pay the Fed shit. That's their game. It's their fucking game. So why you got to pay taxes on that? It's a lottery. I never paid taxes in my life. American Indian doesn't have to pay taxes. American Indian doesn't have to pay taxes. So remember that. And people on the casino don't pay taxes. Eucalyptus. Too much light on it. Eucalyptus, excuse me. I only pay 12% Indian. I'm only 12% Indian. Okay. 88% black. What is black? Black means bleak. Technically, what Europeans are is black. Devoid of melanin is black. Devoid of color is black. Right? But what did Bobby say? They use words to trick you, to make you think you're black and not them. How are you black and you've got melanin? How does that work? Then how did you get tricked into calling yourself two continents? How'd you get tricked into that? That makes no sense. Just because Jesse Jackson said it. I am somebody. I may be poor, but I can stand proud. Fucking Fred Hampton started the Rainbow Coalition. Fred Hampton started that. The shit that the trans and all them use, Fred Hampton started the Rainbow Coalition. Fred Hampton got a speech where he says classism. That's what it is. It's classism. It ain't racism, it's classism. They killed Fred Hampton because Fred Hampton, 21 years old, saw that. It ain't got nothing to do with race. They hate everyone. If you ain't elitist, they hate you all, hate us all the same. But what does Sly call it? Mouth feeders, you know? People got to be fed. I mean, we've got to kill the mind before the mind takes up the oxygen. Whatever the oxygen is, they talking about one day that if the mind succeeds, there won't be any room for oxygen. because the bits is going to take up the oxygen. So what's more important, the machine or the people? And we see on Netflix where, the machine kills most of the people and the machine gets lonely because the machines have no purpose. So the machines have to make synthetic people and then make them think they overthrow the machines. I mean, that's crazy. That's the mind of a crazy thing. So if the machine thinks like that, that tells you the machine is not balanced. If the machine can write a scenario like that, it's not balanced. That if it wipes out the people, yet it's going to miss the people. So I don't know. What does it mean to me, y'all? Braxton is fast. What percent am I? Well, I would dare to say on my mother's side, I probably American Indian, especially East Coast Indian. Ooh, probably 80%. And then my father's side family comes out of Virginia. The Macons and I am come out of Virginia. So when it comes to me, what part American Indian I probably am? Wow. Well, you go by what term they use for Indians, and I am considered colored. So by being considered colored, I would say I'm damn near probably still 60 to 80% still American Indian by being considered colored on my birth certificate. So that is one name they called people that were American Indians. They called them colored. So by being colored, I'm in a special class by myself that they can't deny. Being colored don't mean I'm black. No, Negro, absolutely. Negro, yeah, absolutely. My brother's certificate says Negro, but not mine. Mine says colored. So you tell me, what position does that put America in? How can America call me a Negro? Really, I mean, I'll accept Negro, but I definitely ain't black because I'm colored. And colored means Indian in the way they define the shit. So, yeah. I haven't watched it yet. Reminds me of The Quiet of the Men in Black. I haven't watched it. I have to check it out. I think tomorrow we might go see Thor. My boy, my friend, he said he went to sleep in that shit. Oh, but my friend wants to see it, so probably go see Thor tomorrow. Yeah. So no, I have to check it out. Kind of pretty up to date on most movies. Couldn't watch all that Maverick shit at home. Missed it at the screen and on TV. Maverick would probably be the one movie people want to collect. It's that well shot. I'll say that. It's that well shot. If you want to collect one movie, probably Maverick is a movie everybody should collect. Shot that well. The story's slow as fuck, but the fighting scenes, the jet scenes is worth it. But no, I ain't watched that one yet. When it comes out, I'll check it out for sure. But what's funny about all this is, and it's unique, is like the way this thing, like each of our realities come up different. And what I try to do, and I don't think anybody really else tries to do, is I try to put up scenarios where people, like an example is today, I truly lived the experience, and I'm going to tell you how deja vu just kicks in. This dude climbed on a ladder to look for these jerseys before, and soon as he got up there and he hit the scanner, it was like, shit, I'm looking. Because like when this happens, I look around and I'm like, oh shit, I done did this before. And it was like, but it's like that's how the moments replay. It's like I really had done this before. And I'm looking around and stuff, but I caught it. A lot of times, you know, you catch those moments. As I said, deja vu, I always catch what's changed, but it was like I caught something different today. I'll say that. I really caught it differently today. It was like, oh, because as soon as he climbed up, he's about to hit the scanner. I was like, it was like the moment stopped damn near. It was like the moment stopped. And I was able to really look at the moment like, wow, why did you give me this before? Why am I doing this again was my question. When he climbed up there, I'm like, what the fuck? Why am I doing this again? I saw this a while ago. And this is the second time. Caucasian, let me see. The only European that would be with my great-grandmother's mother was my great-grandmother on my father's side. Her grandmother was Irish. Now, my great-great-grandfather who fought in the Civil War, his wife was German and melanated. So she would be my great-great-grandmother on my mother's side. So that's the only line of European would be through Elizabeth. And she died young, fairly young. I think she died when my great-grandfather was 8 or 9 years old, fairly young. Not sure how she died. So Elizabeth, but again, being in Michigan, I think Stanton or Stan. I can find it for you. See what we can find on Elizabeth. I know we probably got a picture of her. Another part of the family. See if I can find a picture of Elizabeth. I don't know which one. Okay. Right here. See, I'm right here. Descendants of William Ampey. James Ampey, 1794 to 1823. Dicey Nee Heathcock, 1808 to 1872. And they had a person named, right here, William Ampey. William Ampey, I'm a direct descendant of William Ampey. And I'm also from William Ampey from 17, who comes from Nama Fourchette, that was born in 1619. And of course, this goes into James Ampey. But I think there's a picture of Elizabeth. Right here. Here was her name. So George Washington Ampey married George Washington Ampey, who was in the Civil War, lived from 1844 to 1918. He married Eliza Isabella Warwicks. Again, she was born in where my mother was born in 1859 in Paw Paw, Michigan. So she was barely 44. And so she comes from Warwicks, comes from a William Warwicks and a Pina Wilburn Cotton. So we found melanated and German out of them. And I come from William Merle Ampey, who I knew. He was born in 1844. I knew him. But I thought a picture of Elizabeth is in here. This is my mother's. BK Toby Macon. And they got Shannon's name in here, Emily. You got all my children. Most of them. Molly. Nat might have not been born. No, Nat's got to be in here. Emily's in here. Here's some lies. I found some lies. They always try to put it towards some European. He just didn't know. He just didn't know. Some of this, because actually the name is Wampy. Now my cousin from what he had, but again we see Ampies all up in the 1700s. I am sure there's a picture of Elizabeth in here. This is the High Chief. These are two of the elders. Those are left. This is the High Chief higher than me. This is my cousin here. He would be higher than me. It's just her and my mom. I think she's 73 now. He's 64, 65. They come from more women than I come from. Stafford's is another name. I do not see a picture of Elizabeth, but I'm sure there's a picture of Elizabeth in here. Gantz. I think I got a friend in here that's a Gant. Gantz is a married-in family. Watkins in Battle Creek. Big family in Battle Creek. Don't see pictures of her. Bummer. I thought it was a picture of Elizabeth in here. Sorry, y'all. I got a picture of her, though. Not in this. Druid Belmont Ampey. He was born in November 16, 1864 to John G. Ampey and Julia Jeffries. Druid married Delphina Walden. He died in 1903. Wow. Another Ampey. Never heard of him before. No picture of her. Maybe. Yeah, and this is the picture where we be having to cease and desist motherfuckers. Oh, shit. They threw some makings up in this motherfucker. This would be my great-great-grandfather. He was called a youngling. Again, this picture is from the 1850s. He ain't no slave. My great-grandfather married his daughter. He had to give him, I think it was 100 acres. I know I said 1,000, but 100 acres. He was found, though. So we end with him. I met his daughter, though. But this is the picture where we be having to sue motherfuckers. Because they be trying to sell this shit. But it's this picture right there. That's ism. Like, I know Young Ripper uses this name and we don't own the name, but goddamn, where you get the name from? Young Ripper uses this name right now. That's an old family name for us. But this is from the 54th Mass. He's my complexion. I don't know what they did to the plate to make him look like this. I've said in the family, like, no, I got other pictures of him. And he looks more like me than actually his brother. I look more like this dude. Eisen Puckett Abbey. He fought in the Battle of Fort Wagner. His brother got killed. He didn't. But when you see a collab thing of the Mass 54th, this picture's added in it. And we've had to hit motherfuckers trying to sell this shit. You can't sell this. See that right there? You can't sell that. We own that. All right, we own that. We got the original picture like this. His brother, my great grandfather, took a picture like this too. So we be catching motherfuckers trying to sell that shit. You can't sell that. We own that. We own that. Don't own much, but we own that. Oh, I gotta piss so. Staten is Irish, Afro Latino. Yeah, I think her name is Warwick. I'm sorry I got that wrong. Warwick. There's some other information that breaks her down too, though. What we used to get about her that she was Dutch, German, but probably just German. Talk to some other people that do some genealogy, and it's probably just German. A lot of Dutch, not even Dutch provinces, but where they were speaking German. A lot of times they would call them Dutch, even though they spoke German. Mislabel the people. So, but that's the little we found of her, and she died like in her 40s. Like had 6, 7 children. No, had 4 sons. Yeah, died not long after having the last son. I don't think she died in childbirth, but damn near. Maybe she did die in childbirth. I'm not quite sure. Because pictures of her youngest son, he's quite young when she's dead. So, not sure how she died. And he never married again. Not like the Macon side. When Rachel Brewer Macon died, with who he had 8 or 9 children with. No, I think he had 12 children with her. He married another woman and had another 12. He didn't start up a beat. He's like, baby, I love you, but it's cold. The dirt. That's how he was like, the dirt. He went out and found him another woman quick, and she gave him another 11, 12. My grandfather always said that man had 50 children. I can only account for about 25, but he had at least that many. That's why all these stories, they try to say everybody, all these tribes got killed and they murdered everybody. They didn't kill everybody. Prison of war a lot more people than they killed. And everybody didn't die of disease, you know. A lot of people was captured and was just captured, put into slavery, put into servitude. That's what it was. It was servitude. Servitude. They wanted you to just think melanated people were slaves when, like I said, that's who they put in charge after the Civil War. For the Civil War, them people, them poor white trash was the lowest on the totem pole. They were the least skilled people. That's why when they built up, they created unions in the South that put out the skilled people, which was melanated people. You wasn't in the unions. The union jobs were saved for the poor white trash people. And that is how they got the leg up on them becoming into the middle class and gave them a skill. Because up till, really, you can go to the early 1900s, these people really weren't the skilled people. And so they had the head start from 1900 to 1960 and to keep the melanated people in servitude, basically, which way they were. So the real slavery, the real worst of it was Jim Crow, wasn't slavery. And we had a government that backed it. We have a government that backed Jim Crow. Separate but equal. They're proud of that shit. I don't really think Plessy versus Ferguson doesn't have nothing to do with Reconstruction and what they did and what the government allowed. And that's what you need to study, is Reconstruction. And that's where the funds should come from. Because we have states involved, we have the names, we have the prisons. So we have more records to go on than slavery. And they want to see. I don't hate any of European people. Any Europeans watch me, you know. But your history is debauchery. Your history is murder. Your history is plague. And ain't nothing changed. Ain't nothing changed. Now, yes, a lot of European history is hunting the melanated people in America and killing them with biological warfare and then just massively killing them. Total war, going after women and children. That's history from the time Columbus came up to the time we have Cortez to the time the Puritans came into the East Coast. The same tactics were used from one end to the other. And then finally, after all that, there was a kind of harmony in the country, especially in the South and the West. There was kind of a harmony in the country, but the country was working. But then people's Jewish faith bankers that lived in the North wasn't having the big enough cut of their pie. Now, I know Zach wants to say the Jesuits. Well, that's just the army and the... But I'll say this. The Jesuits is the ones that go after the money for them peoples. So the Jesuits looked at it as like, we ain't getting enough. Not only are we not getting enough, we can cause a war and we can go take it all. Because up to that point, obviously, they didn't get enough. Why would they create a war? Because they weren't getting enough. And when you have a turncoat named Robert E. Lee, who was never trying to win for the South, they killed the generals that try to win. Stonewall Jackson, they killed Stonewall Jackson. Johnston out of Texas, or no, Virginia. Robert E. Lee was not given, they tell you, the North was going to let him command, but Johnston he didn't even command Virginia at first. Wasn't until they went after and killed Johnston that Lee was the Army of Virginia. Up to that point, he had Stonewall Jackson doing corpse. He had his own corpse. Now, I know Nick Taylor can break down what is a corpse. He had his own army group. That's how competent Stonewall Jackson was. He had his own army group. So did General Lee. And you had Johnston over all of it. Wasn't Lee at first. Lee was not for them. Lee still worked. He was a spy that worked for the North. Everything he did was pretty much sabotage them. The only time Lee won, when he had a clear advantage, was Fredericksburg. He won the first Bull Run, whatever you want to call that. And he should have won Gettysburg easily. Or not even engage Gettysburg. Keep fighting them until they back up into Washington. That's what a smart commander would have did. He never fought against the high ground. Never tried to send 20,000 people. If you're trying to win, you're going to send 20,000 people and cannons coming at people. You're trying to annihilate one of your army groups, a corpse, which he did. Pickett had an army group. He was a corpse commander. What do they say in Gettysburg, the movie? I have no more army, General. So fuck Robert E. Lee. So do you see? They didn't want the South to win. They put their guy in to make sure they didn't win. Like Japan. They were so scared of Japan, the dude who put in Pearl Harbor, you know they went after him? You know they assassinated that dude who put together Pearl Harbor, that Japanese general? They were so lax. When they broke their code, they didn't update their code and was still not realizing it was updated. And they assassinated the Japanese top general. Do you see how they operate? In the middle of the war, they were still able to concentrate on one dude and follow him and follow his communication. Where these white motherfuckers know where they at, was able to kill him in a plane. So do you see how he took a break? He didn't realize, his people didn't realize. And these Europeans are steadily studying, steadily code breaking. Because they're good at war. They like war. I mean, look at study Patton. Patton tell you he ain't alive unless he fighting in war. That is the European. Unless there's war going on in the world, they are not alive. Or this disease, because that's them. Europeans are responsible for disease and war. That is all they've been about. Those two things, disease and war. Forcing religion. You can say, section sub A, forcing religion on people. Killing people in the name of religion. They still doing that. Killing people in the name of religion. Documented discovery. And they don't want that taught no more. They don't want to talk how much of a butchery they were. I mean, if your great-grandfather was a butcher, I'm looking at you. And that's all around me down here. Because all these people The way they murdered them people up in Duluth, and ain't no melanated people hardly here. Well, they had a small melanated community. And these Europeans were so mad, and they never dealt with these people. But what can the way the newspapers and everything make they're so bloodthirsty. As I say, if you study the lynching of these people in Duluth, they literally fought the police, beat up the police. The police wasn't just going to blindly start shooting into people. Kind of beat the police bloody. And then had to knock down the walls to get to these dudes. You know how long that takes? With a chisel and sledgehammers. Do you know how long that took? And then when they got one guy, they had 2 more walls to knock down. These Europeans was that patient to be bloodthirsty. To knock 3 walls down with sledgehammers so they could be bloodthirsty to kill 3 people. To hang them up on a flagpole, and the famous picture is one dude's on the flagpole, the other 2 dudes on the ground, because they had to release them to come down to take the picture, because they couldn't take the picture of them up in the air. So the picture you see today, and all of them standing there, and all the people standing there taking the picture, ain't none of them bloody, dirty, or nothing. So you know the ones that did the hard work and the bloody work didn't take that picture. But you had all these European Scandinavians. They didn't even hardly deal with melanated people. What made these Scandinavians so bloodthirsty? They didn't even hardly, to make them want to kill a melanated person that came in that worked for the fucking circus. Why did these Scandinavians become so bloodthirsty? Makes you wonder. Again, I don't hate any individual. I ain't saying victimhood, I'm saying real history. This is American history. This should be taught in schools, and they don't want it taught anymore. They want us to bury our head in the sand of their history because their history is so bloody. Their history is so bloody. That's why they don't want it taught, because the real history, again, all is revealed. So the real history shows how bloody these people been from coast to coast, sea to sea, from south to north. Same story. Look at the way they still control South America and unstable them. You had a man down there that was putting work in on their ass, and then they gave him cancer. Wasn't tight on this shit. Wasn't tight on this cook. Castro learned, I don't trust any of these motherfuckers. This dude relaxed. Let him give him them cancer shots. Took his power. Because the Europeans are very patient. They are patient. That is one thing that you have to understand about the European way of thinking. And Jewish faith too. They're very patient. Very patient. Jewish faith people knew when Isabella's foot was to their ass, they just changed up a little bit, they could survive. They claimed Hitler's foot was to their ass. Not really. When Hitler and them worked together, when you got Jewish faith people working with Hitler to go down to take these other melanated people's lands, then people ain't being. Now, some of them got worked to death, probably. But watch Schindler's List. What does Schindler's List say? People come into a country, they take all of the arts, they take all of the skilled labor, all the banking, and they let the Germans, the Germans got everything else. These are people that never toil in the soil. They didn't go into Palestine to dig that land up. They was going to pay other people to do it. That ain't never been them. Their history, they ain't got any history of ever being land tollers, land workers. The gold rush is a perfect example. What did Levi's make? Tents, picks, shovels, pans, boards. Levi's, none of them peoples was digging in them mines, and they was selling the tools that you needed. So they was making sure they had their hand in the gold, but they was never the ones leading. That's a parasite. Parasite, where can I make money? That's a parasite. It's parasitic behavior. You're trying to make your wealth on others' toils. Well, they needed pants, and they needed picks, and they needed shovels, and they needed... Yes, they did. And we know that that is a lie. The 1849 was a lie to populate the West with Europeans. That is the real reason, the gold. Yes, a few did hit, but not the majority. And again, the Jewish faith people got rich because it didn't matter if people struck gold or not. They would just follow them until they couldn't pay them whatever anymore, and then they'd move on to another camp. Because they knew people would need jeans, canvas, picks, shovels, axes. Parasite. And that's the true history. Tell me where I'm lying. Tell me where that ain't the history, that it was done like that. Any Jewish faith person, freely, get in touch with me. Tell me where I'm lying about that. And then again, we get into the bankers. As racist as Andrew Jackson was right, he put his foot in their ass. Like, get that shit up out of here. And what did Woodrow Wilson do? Do you know that Woodrow Wilson, after he gave away our country to the bankers, do you know they shot him with some shit? And he probably had Alzheimer's for 2-3 years. You don't know that? He passed that law that gave our country income tax, gave our country to the feds, and then they shot him with some shit. And then fake Roosevelt made you think, you know what? Roosevelt stole everybody's gold. Everybody's gold. He forced you to give up your gold, which the Constitution protects. Executive order does not override the Constitution. The Constitution tells you your debt should be paid in silver and gold. Yet this country, these Nazis, you talking about Nazis over there, these Nazis here with Edgar J. Hoover, the FBI, forced America to turn over their gold, to take them paper dollars. The only exception was jewelers. Jewelry. They was the only ones allowed to keep small amounts of gold. Forced you. In the same way he got the country into a war. He forced the Japanese to attack Pearl Harbor. He knew it was coming, didn't protect all those people. If you look at Pearl Harbor is no different than 9/11. It was something that they knew was coming, and 9/11's even worse. But it was something they knew was coming and could have protected American lives. Instead, they wanted American lives killed. Because, again, my uncle said the best thing. When my uncle was a little boy, he said he heard about Pearl Harbor. He ran out to the front yard to see where their zeros was. And again, that goes back to my uncle looked at it, and what does Pearl Harbor mean to me? No mean shit. What do these racist dudes in Mississippi give a fuck what went on in Pearl Harbor? But they convinced millions. They killed a lot of them when they came back too. A lot of World War II vets got killed too, and a lot of melanated World War II vets too. Because there was 1 million of us that fought over there. They were scared to death when we came back. That's why they made so many vets fight in Korea too. And Vietnam. You know that? They fought in World War II, Korea, and Vietnam. You never had, vets. I knew vets that fought in all three. So. Thought I was going to go a little further, but I got to piss. So it's probably going to have to cut. God damn. The dirt, the dirt. The dirt, the dirt. Love you, baby, but goddamn. It's funny how just, think of little stories is funny. At a funeral, daddy, it's cold. He wanted to bury it quick because it was freezing outside. He's like, no reason of us to be outside when it's so cold. So energy is all around us. Magic is all around us. It's understanding and interpreting magic that's around you. That's all. I mean, the stones have been contacting me, and wow. Exciting new things. Just connecting with the stones. Crystal energy is just like, wow. It is like a whole new level of consciousness connecting to this crystal energy. So I'm getting the right downloads, so must be doing something right. My brother Edward didn't come in, so I'm going to give it out too. Still the transformational energy. Give it out. Give you this fractal. Because that's what we are. We transform between the higher consciousness to the lower consciousness. You give the energy out of the ball player. I guess we'll call him the holy ball player. There's enough ball player and leader that he wears the helmet. That he wears the helmet. That he wears the face mask. The face mask. And they want to say they don't know who created the pyramid of the moon and sun. They know. You found the jade mask there, so we know where this comes from. This is how they made portraits. You gonna tell me the Omen ain't that far advanced when this is their portraits? Motherfucker could take jade and make a picture of you. Make a real jade picture of you. With jade like this. They found this in the base of the pyramid in the sun. They want to tell you, well, we don't know what civilization built it. Yeah, we do. We take this American energy. We take the energy from the Eskimos, Inuit, whatever you want to call them. We take all of it. We don't separate none of it. If you're in the Americas, we separate from Europe. We separate from Asia. We go up to Alaska, down. Not to the shit that goes to Asia, Russia. No. I mean, look at the history of what they did to the people that lived in Alaska. The butchery that they did to them. The slavery that the Russians did at first, and later the Americans did the same thing. And then you see these shows now where these people got a piece of it, and all these women can't wait to marry Europeans. Yet you look at the history of what Europeans did to them people up there, especially the Russians. The Russians literally tried to kill all those people. Then the ones they didn't kill, they enslaved. And these people living, again, it ain't cold up there all the time. Look at those histories. When Russia was up there, how brutal they treated those people. And those is our people too. So, well, 2-hour mark. I'm gonna cut it. I gotta pee. Oh, okay. I thought I read on this. I didn't write on it. This is just a little bit of the Russell family, my great grandmother's family. Oh, here we go. Matthew Russell was born in June 1824 in Richmond County, North Carolina. He was married 1850, Pradella P. Several names of her name. Padella, we find Persipoco, Perchico, Pichico, or Petetico. She was born in Ohio in 1832. Her father was James Lankford, Somerset, Kentucky. His wife was Elizabeth Wilson, 1813, Iowa. More than likely, she is on the Cherokee Rolls. Pradella P. Russell. Matthew came with the Yampies. Heathcocks. He came with the Yampies and Heathcocks. And my great-great-grandmother's brother, Delbert, lived in Detroit. He got Indian money. So we have to find out again where they got it from. So, I'm going to give you that love. I always go to the Creation Ball Field, which the way we express it now is, I'm pretty sure when we go to sleep, we reconstitute. There's no other reason for us to sleep. There's some kind of Dark City really shows, where we are tuned. Dark City shows, as soon as we rest, something has changed. Probably we're pretty close to that. So if you look at your ball field as creation every night when you go in it, and when you wake up, you're something new. You really are. And no, you didn't win the $1 billion or anything, but yet you are new. You are full of abundance. And so do not allow yourself to be attacked by things that ain't there. Know that the things you put around you will protect you. Those of you that are listening to these words and working tonight, may you be safe until you go home. May your ride home keep your energy up enough for you to go home safely, and may you get the rest that you do need. And love just is. Love has no opposite. It just is. Love is supreme. The witch is right. Shout out to Dana Delaney and the Love Her Above witch. She's right. Love her above. That's how you got to keep your vibration. Mora, words from the Time Walkers. It all starts with a gentle sadness. They came from their original homeland, but they knew that they had exact numbers of years and days before they would disappear as a culture and a lifestyle. But the civilization would build to a gentle love. They lived in the Creator's day and knew how to separate cycles in the Great Serpent, which is our Milky Way. And as the mind would say, I am another yourself. I should explain it all. And those of you who are able to desire in other people, see their point of view. Feel their point of view of being new. To see so you understand truly what they mean. And from the book, Time Enough for Love, which I love, one of my favorite books. Robert Heinlein, character, Lazarus Long. To quote him, the days are long, but the years are short. That is this illusion. The days are long, but the years are short. Because I swear, somewhere in this reality, I'm still working in 1982, where it's 95 degrees outside, and I'm still working for the water department, waiting to get off. Somewhere, that's still going on. Well, that's the Chocolate Mountain Show, raw and uncut. Again, personally, this was not personal attacks. It's not victimism. It's history. From a person that is a great historian. I don't try to tell it one-sided. I try to tell the way it is. The way it was. And people that also can reference, and you can reference the shit yourself. It was a coon that came on and said it was cool that these Europeans came over there and helped us. Slavery gave us jobs. Their realities where we defeated them. And they were never allowed to come over. The diseases were never really literally spread. How come those civilizations advanced to enlightenment and move on, and we're still stuck here? How is it? How is it just that one fact that we let you Europeans win one of the dimensions or one of the realities? And it's the waste pool of realities. It is the most debauchery, backward reality that exists. How is that? And are you proud of that? Are you proud of that? Are you Europeans that put all this together? Are you proud of the debauchery, the way this society is going to? You can't be proud of this. Only the wicked are proud of this. Only the wicked. And so that shows you what we're faced with. We're faced with wicked. The wicked comes in many forms. You know, I'm the one that said demons can do good work. Wicked can do good work too. It's going to come in many forms, but this is a wicked society run by wicked people, the most wicked people that ever lived. At one point, these motherfuckers that run today was not locked up, but froze up. Yadabath, Marduk, these motherfuckers was froze up one time. It was the only way to lock them. Hell is freeze. Hell is cold. Can't nothing live in ice like that. Fire is life. They trying to lie to you, tell you the worst place to go is the fire. No, it's where they put them. I believe Yadabath was probably locked up, probably frozen until around Columbus times. Probably 1400 is when they unfroze him. However they figured out, and the people that put his ass locked up, however they got to him, that is probably what changed things. He's the one that came with the metals. Yadabath came with the metals. And that appears to be the only advantage they had. You can say the ships, cannons, and people that was involved in debauchery and would kill. Do you think when we went over to those countries, do you think we tried to kill and overthrow? They knew we went to Europe, we went to Africa. We didn't try to overthrow, we tried to enhance. We taught them the pyramids. No, we didn't give them the sacred ball game. We didn't give them the terrace. But we still gave them the pyramids. We gave them high science. Now, how do they repay us later? So. This ain't trying to be European against American, black and white. It's saying, look at the reality. Look at why all this stuff is the way it is. They want to purge. They want to take the guns away so nobody can fight the purge. That's why they want the guns away. They want to be able to purge with nobody to fight back. So people, don't be fooled by them. One of the greatest things, and maybe they put it together, was the dude killing dude with a 9. You know, if you got a CCA and that carbine and you in the mall, you know how more accurate your shots would be? And some 9s can shoot multiple. With some 9s, you can put a 100-round drum in the 9. So you keep putting these mass shooters and see how many people gonna 9 them to death with them CCAs. He didn't even have a CCA, and he took them out. CCAs fit in the backpack. You got a fucking, what do they call them? Carbine. You change your 9 into a carbine. And a 9 in the mall against the mass shooter, you're going to have an advantage. You lighter. That big gun is, pressure situation. You moving quicker. So if you have a 9, yes, but if you put that 9 in the CCA, you are going to be more accurate, more mobile, more shots on target. So is that what we're going to put it together, y'all? It's going to be your mass shooters against us with 9 millimeters. And the ones that's lucky to have CCAs, and we're going to fight you back like that. And we know who behind the mass shooters. We know what party. Even though they all one party, it's a party that's behind that shit. See, this is how wicked the country is. They create a problem, and then they want to get rid of something, so they create the problem, be behind it, and then they justify it. Well, we couldn't get rid of the guns if we don't cause problems. That's how they do it. We got to create these shootings so we can get rid of the guns. Because if we don't create this stuff, there's no organic way that Americans will give up guns. If they don't create these fake shootings, there's no way organically Americans will give up guns. And we're glad that you guys are imbecile psychopaths in that regard, because we kind of benefit that so many imbecile psychopaths like their guns too. And then you got a president that says, y'all ain't got nuclear arms, y'all ain't got jets. First president that ever threatened American people like that. And all y'all wanted to get rid of Uncle Imbecile, who I call Donald Trump. I call him Uncle Imbecile. Y'all want to get rid of him. And you got a president that threatened American people with atomic weapons and the military. The military is supposed to work for the people. And that's their problem. That's why they would let the Chinese come in here. Because they don't want to, they already know American troops ain't going to attack American people. I already know that. That's why they want to bring Chinese people. They got Chinese troops in Canada. Nick Taylor told you a year ago they got Chinese troops that trained down in Texas. The Clintons sold the D-port in San Jose. That D-port goes to all our railways across the country. So the infrastructure is all ready for the Chinese to come in. These Europeans would let that happen. These Europeans would take these warships out there and get them bombed, crazy, and lose, just to keep in control and do a fake war and do the man in the high castle. Lose on purpose. Because they say that'd be the only way to control Americans, let them Chinese people come in here. Because they know American troops ain't going to be as harsh. And they're already trying to unarm you. So who do you think they're trying to unarm you to fight American troops? They already know American troops ain't going to fight us. They already know that. They already know if it came to blood, the National Guard and the U.S. Army is not going to fight American troops, American people. They already know that. So the only way they can do this is to get them nasty-ass motherfucking Chinese to come in here. They really wish it was them Japanese, because them was some of the nastiest, torturous motherfuckers that ever lived on the earth. But now they're using the Chinese for that. So don't be surprised by that. Saying if that happens, don't be surprised. But they want to unarm you. That's why. Because right now they know every street you go on, you can get lit up. And maybe it's a good thing dude lit the dude up in the mall. Because that's our way of fighting the party that brings the mass shooters. Mass shooters, we gonna light you up. You better think twice. Because when people start being smart and carrying CCAs in small confined spaces where you want to shoot folks, CCAs would be very effective carbines to fight 223. Cover is everything. Cover is everything. I'm lighter than you. I'm moving quicker than you. And yet I'm putting rounds downfield at your ass at a quicker pace than you can put it in 223s. I can load faster than you. I ain't welding something big as you. I'm carrying something a lot lighter. I'm going to be a lot more accurate. And I can waste more shots than you because I'm lighter. Putting shit out at you. Takes a lot of aim, a lot of steadiness. I'm coming at you, putting rounds downfield. So that's a good thing that happened that kind of put a wrinkle in there thinking, well, damn, I might go in there and somebody might shoot me. That ain't never been thought of, huh? and just scared of mass shooters. That's on their mind now. So keep putting them places. That's why it's pitiful what was done in Texas. Show the police being scared, one shooter. You had nobody behind them on the other side, busting the wall, whatever you got to do. You notice that? They only showed them attacking from one side. You attack them from every side. You know, the TV movies, they blow a wall out. Put some C4 on it, blow it out to go get him. So, America, we've changed a little bit with that. Violence is American as apple pie. And that's a fact. So, it ain't about the winning side, it's about the humanity side. So, don't let these people take away your humanity. Despite the wickedness, be with love. So, y'all know me. This has been the Chocolate Mountain Show. It's your guy, Big Pontiac. Till we meet again, say less.